and it's never been repeated. Superb question. Not one person calling, Brian, which is a good sign that this could be a little runner.
Tony Snell,
BBC Radio Merseyside.
Now, I love a good historical battle tale. Not hysterical, but historical. The boom of the cannon, the smell of the gunpowder. The men lost and the victorious infantry relieved that they made it through. Well, one local group based in Newton-le-Willows want to secure recognition for a real decisive Civil War battle that took place in the area. To find out more, we've sent, I don't know whether he's a Cavalier or a Roundhead. We'll find out. Jimmy McCracken's over in Winwick for us near Warrington this morning. Good morning, James.
Good morning to you, Tony, and as you know, I go both ways, Tony. It all depends upon how the battle is flowing. But I'm speaking to you, and I'm sure you'll use that clip against me.
That's going to come back and haunt you, that one, Jim.
Thank you very much indeed. But Tony, I'm speaking to you now from a place where history was made something like 360 years ago, almost. I'm right on the border where Cheshire meets Merseyside, where Warrington meets St Helens. I'm in Winwick. I'm in a house which was only built in the 20th century, less than 100 years ago, but I'm surrounded by memorabilia from the Battle of Winwick Pass itself. I've got souvenirs. There's maps and plans here to tell me more about the battle. And through the back garden, just a few yards away, is the very battlefield itself. It's now somebody's back garden, but 360 years ago, this was the scene of a very important battle. To tell me more about it is Peter Astles, who's from a group called Our Local Voice. Tell me more about Our Local Voice, Peter, and what you do.
Yeah, Jimmy. Well, we set the group up about 2 years ago. Basically, it's just keeping our local area nice, promoting heritage, promoting the environment, and just putting matters of local interest, publicising to local people.
And one matter of local interest, which many people don't know about, and some people have never heard about, and many have forgotten, is the project on the Battle of Winwick Pass. What exactly was that battle?
Yeah, okay, so I'll give you a sort of a fairly lengthy description. So it was a significant Civil War battle in 1648 between the English troops known as the Roundheads under Lieutenant General Oliver Cromwell and the invading Scottish troops under the Duke of Hamilton known as the Cavaliers. They called this the Battle of Winwick Pass. It was one of the last events of the Second English Civil War and the last conflict of any significance between two major opposing battle forces on English soil. Just to give sort of people of the general Merseyside area some idea, it was between Manchester and Liverpool, round about where the M6 meets the M62, not far from there, round about junction 10 of the M62. The event has national significance, we feel. Basically, our modern parliament wouldn't exist today as it exists now, nor would our royal family, because the result of it was they executed the monarch of the day, Charles I, so we'd have a completely different monarchy that we have today. So our very democracy we see today was dependent on that battle, and that lasted just 6 hours on the 19th of August, 1648. Today, it's just peaceful countryside, and you'd never realise that anything of that national significance occurred there. Just a few facts about the battle. What the war was about was about the king's power. The Scots wanted the king to have all of the power, but the English parliamentarians wanted to dilute the power of the king. The king, as I say, was Charles I, but remember he was king of both countries. England and Scotland at the time were separate countries.
Peter, up to now, how has that battle been recognised up to this moment in time?
Well, it hasn't really. It's basically, it's in a few history books and various websites, and it's something that kind of maybe a few historians get involved in, but not the wider public. It's kind of a wrong really that we think needs to be put right, and something more needs to be done to recognise and elevate this what we think is a big asset to our community.
And a major event, many people took part in it, and many casualties.
There was up to 1,600 troops were killed, and basically had an area called Red Bank between Newton-le-willows and Winwick, and some of those, but probably the bodies of those soldiers still remain there today. There was also 2,000 prisoners captured.
All right. So it was a major battle. Let's just take a step away from your room here, your table, your headquarters in many ways, and pass by the memorabilia. There's musket balls over there in a little case. There's plans and maps of how it used to look. And if we step outside here into the countryside, into what is basically somebody's back garden, as we squeak a little bit into somebody's back garden, Peter, this is here in front of us. There's Winwick Church in the distance. This is where the battle took place. And on this side, would it be the Scots Army?
Yeah, I mean, basically, what we're looking at now is where effectively the Scottish troops broke ranks and basically fled towards the Winwick Church, which we can see facing us.
And how are you going to plan? Well, what are your plans to make sure that more people, like me, like Tony, find out more about this important battle?
Yeah, well, as I say, we want to elevate the status of the battle. We've looked with some of our members of the Battlefield Trust, and we've looked at similar sites in other areas of the country. And what we want to do is create a monument somewhere between Newton-le-willows and Winwick. Have some notice boards, QR points, which is where you scan your smart mobile to get information, and try to bring this alive and create a heritage, not just for our local villages, but perhaps for the Merseyside area generally as well.
And finally, before we call a truce to this conversation, Peter, so to speak, is there a website or a Facebook that we can find out more?
Yeah, our local voice has got a website. We're very easy to find. Rather than give me the full title, really, if you just put it in Google and put our local voice into Google, if you look at the community tab, you'll see information about the battle. If you look at our heritage tab, we have a very comprehensive account of the battle. We're also on Facebook and Twitter, so all you need to do is on the web, Facebook or Twitter, just type our local voice.
All right, well, Peter Astles from Our Local Voice, thank you very much indeed. Tony, that is the place to go to. Look for Our Local Voice and find out more about the Battle of Winwick Pass. And if you were standing here today, all you could hear is the birdies. The sun is shining here in Winwick. The birds singing. It's a peaceful, tranquil place. But it wasn't in 1648, Tony.
I know. Jimmy, thank you for that fascinating piece. And you enjoy your 70. Will you be swinging both ways on 70s Heaven tomorrow night, will you? Is that the way it's going to work for you, Jim?
Tony, I'll be swinging both ways all the way throughout the 70s, as I did then, and as you know, Tony, as I still do when I've got the energy.
I look forward to it. If you've not caught Jimmy's 70s Heaven on a Saturday, have a little listen. It's a brilliant programme, really is, from 6 o'clock. Let's get the headlines now, 8:31. Here's Julia Bold.
Thanks, Tony. New